So the new season, Season 6, is going to be the biggest and most important season of the year, guys. And if you want to see a lot of new locker codes, free dark matters, free 100 overall players, and basically one of the best seasons of all time, then like the video right now and let's play a nice little game. Whoever can predict the level 40 reward for Season 6, I will give you the season pass. So just let me know down below in the comments because it will be a free 100 overall player. In this video, I want to make sure that you guys are ready, you're prepared, try to make as much MT as you can, go through your collection, anything that you have sellable you might want to sell. And we're going to be talking about what I'm expecting, what to expect, what we're going to be getting for sure and stuff like that. Because for example, tomorrow we are getting super packs. 2K is going to be updating the pack market. Obviously, they always update it. So tomorrow there will be super packs. So if you want to sell some players, get some MT, now is a great time to do it because 2K will be adding that. They always add it every time we go into a new season. So that's definitely something that you need to know. And like I said, there's some stuff that we do know, some stuff that I'm expecting, and of course my predictions. And so the next thing that we got to talk about is of course going to be the level 40 reward because again, it will be a free 100 overall player for everybody to grind for. And if it's free, it's for me. There's actually two players that I have in mind. One of them is going to be my boy. We already know Anthony Davis. I do feel like Anthony Davis is going to potentially be, you know, the level 40 reward for Season 6. I just feel like it makes sense. Anthony Davis hasn't gotten, you know, like a crazy 99 or 100 overall card. I think at the moment he actually does have multiple Galaxy Opals, right? So he definitely has been getting that Galaxy Opal treatment, but I just feel like it kind of makes sense, especially with like the playoffs. You know, he was traded, so I feel like a Mavericks 100 overall Anthony Davis would definitely make sense. He does, of course, have multiple cards already, and I feel like that would be such a big fat W, a 6'10" power forward for everybody to go after. I think that would be great. Now, another player that I do have in mind is actually going to be another big guy, because I do feel like we're due for a big boy, right? And so I wouldn't be surprised if we see Wilt Chamberlain. My boy Wilt also has not gotten a Dark Matter or a 100 overall card. And so just like Anthony Davis, I just feel like 2K definitely needs to give us a nice little power forward or center. Or obviously both, since I am assuming if 2K does release a Wilt or Anthony Davis, they should be able to play power forward and center. And just like AD, I just feel like Wilt is definitely long overdue for a Dark Matter / 100 overall player. When it comes to Wilt, he definitely would be a nice little, you know, addition to a lot of people's teams. You know, he was actually one of the first cards we got this year, you know, part of the Full Throttle set, and so I just feel like it makes sense, right? A 100 overall Wilt Chamberlain. Obviously, that is my prediction. That's why I want to know who you guys think 2K is going to be adding. Now, we are expecting, of course, new locker codes, free players, and stuff like that. Now, when it comes to this season, every time that we do get a Season 6, 2K basically releases stuff for like the playoffs, right? And so we definitely should be seeing something to do with the playoffs. I'm hoping they do a spotlight, you know, series type of challenges just because we did have this in a previous 2K where basically they did a playoff push. You know, we had a free Galaxy Opal Tatum. I could definitely see Tatum also being potentially a level 40 reward as well. I think it'll definitely be like a big guy, or it could be somebody that's making, you know, an impact into the playoffs, like a Shea type of player, Jokic, you know, those type of players, even though I still think it will be, you know, a big guy. So I'm hoping they do something like this. I think it would be really cool. I'm hoping they bring back moments as well. I think we're definitely due for moment cards, even though it looks like probably this year they're not going to release a single moments card, which really sucks. But we definitely should be seeing, of course, like playoff agendas, you know, going into the playoffs. You know, I'm hoping they do a whole playoff set like they've done before. I really like this set right here because you basically had, you know, evolution cards, and you can see the dates, right? It's April 15th. You know, basically, I forgot to mention the new season is going to be April 4th. So, you know, we only got a few more days. So, the beginning of April, basically, we are going to be seeing the playoffs, you know, start. Obviously, going to the finals and so on, the champion. Hopefully, we see some playoff locker codes. They've done it before. I really do hope, like I said, though, they do a set like this where, like, all the players that are in the playoffs get a nice little card. And then as they progress throughout the season, the postseason, and so on, they just get evolutions. And then that way we can get, like, a Dark Matter. You know, for example, say Trae Young, right? So we had a Trae Young before. Are the Hawks making the playoffs? I know the Hawks, and obviously, you know, some teams are trying to get into the play-in. Some people are just completely out. You know, again, locker codes would be nice. They did drop this amazing locker code in terms of just like, not like amazing in the sense of like the best card in the game, but just the fact that we had a locker code for a playoff card. I just feel like that would be such a W for 2K to do. And then when we know the champions, they can drop a locker code for the champions, right? So that's basically what they did, you know, in previous 2Ks, 2K23 to be exact. So that would be really cool. Now, something else that we're definitely going to be getting, though, in Season 6 is, of course, going to be a nice little Easter event. Yes, Easter is going to be happening basically in Season 6. Now, when it comes to the date for that, let me check my calendar one more time because it is going to be late April. And yeah, it's going to be April 20th. So that's going to be, you know, Easter. So I'm expecting to get to release locker codes for that as well. We should be getting an Easter event. It just definitely makes sense as well, just because, you know, they do this every year. You know, last year we had this one where they had, you know, the egg event. So it'll probably be something similar to what we've had before, where they just added, you know, the event cards. It'll be eggs, so like a dark matter egg, a 100 overall egg, and so on. And then, of course, I mean, listen, locker codes. We're definitely getting locker codes, because of the new season, you know, they do always start off with a couple locker codes here and there. And then Easter, for sure, we'll get a locker code. You guys can see some of the previous ones we've had. For example, Dennis Rodman. I wouldn't be mad at a free 100 overall Dennis Rodman. He tends to always come out during Easter, so I really wouldn't be surprised if we get him. Obviously, they can go with dunkers as well. You know, a 100 overall Zach LaVine, Dark Matter Zach LaVine for Easter would be amazing. It would be another guard, but, you know, I feel like a lot of people really like that. I definitely do see, like, a Paul George coming out in Season 6 as well. There's definitely a lot of cards that are still due for, you know, updates and upgrades and so on. So we definitely are getting an Easter event as well for Season 6, which should include some new locker codes, free players, and of course the big events. Now when it comes to other players that I'm expecting 2K to add, I definitely do feel like we're going to be seeing an Invincible. I definitely do feel like we're going to be seeing either an Invincible or a GOATS card, right? So the first Invincible, I mean, they could even do like a Bronny James. You know, Bronny will eventually get an Invincible 100 overall card. You know, it's going to happen. 100 overall Giannis, or, you know, a nice little Invincible one makes a lot of sense for Season 6 as well. Like, another player that I wouldn't be surprised 2K could add would be somebody like Jimmy Butler. Just because Jimmy is on a whole new team, so I feel like it would definitely make sense. You know, the Warriors. That's why I feel like it could be like an Anthony Davis on the Mavericks for 100 overall. I wouldn't be mad at Jimmy being level 40, 100 overall, even though I think it should be a center. So there's definitely that option when it comes to level 40. But I definitely do see Invincibles or GOAT cards also coming out when it comes to Season 6. Whether it's Giannis, a Larry Bird, you know, maybe a GOAT Kawhi. You know, he recently got a Dark Matter, so I doubt it. But Larry Bird, I feel like, is definitely long overdue as well for, well, he did have the Dark Matter event card for, you know, the Winter Festival. So maybe not as long overdue as Davis and Wilds, but I could definitely see Larry being one of the Invincibles. You know, I would love to see Kobe make a return. A Kobe Bryant would be nice. Apparently, there's a Pope right here, too. My goodness. That would be crazy if they added that. Obviously, not going to happen, but Jimmy, like I said, makes sense. You know, Paul George makes sense as well. There's definitely a lot of options when it comes to, you know, Invincibles, 100 overalls, and so on. But I definitely do see 2K releasing an Invincible or a GOATS card for Season 6, of course. And something that we're definitely expecting is going to be, like I mentioned earlier, a domination. It just makes sense. They've been adding a domination every single season. As you can see, Season 1, we did actually have 2 dominations, but then Season 2, we had a new one. Season 3, we had a new one. Season 4 and 5, we had a new one. So what does that mean? Season 6, a new, nice little free Dark Matter domination, as well as MT. So definitely going to be a great way to get started in the new season. And like I said, right now is a great time to get ready. Go through your collection, make that MT, and I'll be sure to keep you updated. In the meantime, definitely check out how to make MT, check out the pack opening, and as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.